Okay, today we're going to talk about a 16-episode self-contained miniseries called Possessed. This Netflix show from 2019 absolutely sucks for being so awesome. Yes, it really does suck for being so awesome. Possessed is a must-watch show that is so terrible and so unsatisfying because the story is so good and ends the only way it could. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start off with our usual basic rundown first and foremost. As I already said, Possessed is a self-contained story that runs over 16 episodes. It is only in the original Korean audio, so you will have to read the subtitles in English, but it is well paced and easy to follow. The Netflix description for Possessed is terrible. It really is, and it reads like, a reluctant clairvoyant joins forces with a Bursk police detective hiding a soft heart to help him solve criminal cases using her psychic abilities. And this bland description, along with a very plain and bland thumbnail, does not make the show appealing at all. I, for one, there's no joke, would skip over the show whenever it be in the little run and really wasn't interested in it. The way they present this show looks really, okay, yeah, I'll get to it one day. And I really had no interest in it. And boy, was I wrong. I kept seeing Possessed pop up in the reels and my searches until I finally gave in. And I thought I'd watch just one episode to see what it was about. I thought maybe if I watch it, it'll stop bringing it up. And holy crap! It is one of my favorite K-dramas today. It really is. The horrible Netflix description is not only misleading, but it's not reflective of the show at all. If I was to write the description for the show, it would be something like, a reluctant clairvoyant joins forces with a seasoned, wary detective to prevent a serial killer wreaking havoc across the city, only to find out there is so much more to their adversary and each other. If you wanted to be vague on it, but give a little bit more detail, that's what I would say. Because, yeah, you find out early on it's about a serial killer, but there's way more to it. Possessed starts off as a slasher, serial killer thriller, before it turns into a police squad comedy. You know, this goofy police squad comedy, which eventually evolves into a romantic comedy love story. Oh, and that's before it smacks you in the face and disembowels you alive while you're trying to catch your breath. Oh, by the end of the show, you're like, holy shoosh, what did I just watch? Possessed takes time to develop its characters and pulls you into their lives, so you're invested in their individual journeys. Yes, there are a few times, like in many Korean shows, where some of the more dramatic scenes are dragged out, almost to absurdity, but although you might find the odd time where you're saying, come on, get on with it, it is their way of giving the audience the chance to see the process that the character's going through in that moment. So it's kind of understandable and it's easy to get through. You know, it's not overly done. It does seem to carry on at times, but then there are other times where you just don't see anything coming, and the show leaves you swearing at the screen, which, you know, you're like, what the is going on? No way. Yeah, it just hits you, it blindsides you, and next thing you know, you're like, whoa, what is going on? Now, an important piece of information regarding the show, this is really important, kind of. There are post-credit scenes. Well, mid-credit scenes. The reason why this is important is because most of the shows I've watched end with like still frame shots from the current episode, and then it turns into like a trailer for the next upcoming episode while the credits run. And I'm pretty sure I'm not alone, but as soon as the still frames start, I hit fast forward to hurry up and get to the next episode button. And that was until I saw Possessed. Possessed has a small scene in between the still frames and the actual credits. Some are not important, and they're just like little bonus things, and you don't have to watch them, but there are scenes in the section that give so much scope and added depth to the overall story. So with this in mind, if you want to see the true ending of Possessed, there is both a mid-credit and an actual end-credit scene, which is the true conclusion in the last episode. So don't just think, oh, it's gone to credits, that's how they ended it. Just watch through the credits, at least on the last episode. But there's little bits throughout the series where the end credits now give you just so much more detail. This story is so multi-layered. It really is. And the ensemble of supporting characters around our two main characters is just as textured and investing. But to come back to my original statement about the show, it is because of the investment that you have into all these great, amazing, and well-acted characters, along with the seriousness that the show has as its foundation. The show just could not end the way I personally wanted to see it end. And that sucks to me and is unfulfilling. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still a good ending. I've got to be careful not to give anything away. But yeah, the ending is still a good ending. And if you're honest about it, it's the only ending the show could have with the story that's being told. That's the only way the story could have properly ended. In the final, there is a cute ending of the end credit scene in the final episode. But, when you really think about it, there's only one way this show is going to end. And it's like, I'll leave it at that. Without spoiling anything, you have to keep in mind, this is basically, in essence, a story of a detective chasing a serial killer. It's a dark story. The comedy is there to give you the rest from that dark, serious story, but it is always there in the background until it's not. That's all I can say about that. So, yeah, there's some great lighthearted moments and everything, but in the end of the day, this is about a detective chasing a serial killer. So you expect some dark moments in this show. Anywho, Possessed doesn't look like much from the description and the thumbnail that Netflix has, but if you seriously want a roller coaster ride of emotion, Possessed is a must watch. It really is a must watch. So I can't recommend this show enough. It's fantastic. Go check it out.